dig that song.
Good evening, Region 9. We are live with our first episode of the year.
Yeah.
And today we have Todd De Voe. We are missing Jackie. Jackie, we send you love and a rain jacket because I'm sure you're probably needing it. An umbrella. But with that being said, we're giving our kudos to all of the emergency managers who are responding to these storms. So we're right behind you. You need a call you need to call a buddy. You need someone to yak an ear off. We're here. So
it's been busy.
Reach out. It has been busy. This round of storms it's hit all our region.
2023 said rain shall come. It's not stopped.
So does that mean we're out of a drought now?
You think officials say we're still in drought conditions.
So I was talking briefly about the drought earlier, and even though the drought numbers have gotten a little better, with my geology background, I'm hesitant to even say that the drought will go away because I already know the pore space subsidence happens. There's no way that you're going to be able to get water once you keep pushing down sand and ground. So
my backyard doesn't think it's a drought anymore.
Do you have your boat?
I had worms. Not joking. Like earthworms. So I have worms. That's really a personal issue. No, I had earthworms that got somehow or another from the rain was pushed under. So I got to go back. So my garage door needs to have new weather stripping. Yeah. And I bought weather stripping, but I bought the wrong stuff. So I am without weather stripping. So the rainwater, when it goes sideways, ends up coming underneath my garage door a little bit. And as I was cleaning up today, there were like all these poor little earthworms that are like, there's no dirt in here. And so a bunch of them died. But I had earthworms in my garage, my garage door area. And
that's pretty neat.
I don't know the need for them. That was probably pretty. But anyway, my point is that's how much water we have coming. Just the earthworms, the poor little dudes are floating out of the dirt and just floating around. Did you see the guy walking the fish up in Fresno?
No.
He's walking on the street of Fresno and there's a catfish just swimming around. He's like, I'm walking my new pet fish. I thought that was pretty. So that's how much. To put it in perspective, that's how much groundwater there's sitting there right now. That fish are floating around, worms are floating around.
Well, I mean, and we're also spreading the love. We're sending it on to the east. So I hope our fellow region members are prepared.
Region 2, it's coming near you. So.
Alrighty, so getting to the review of what's going on in the region, we have our symposium coming on February 28th through March 2nd, and that'll be in Garden Grove.
About that. It's gonna be great. Katrina is now officially taken over as chair. She's doing a great job trying to coordinate these things. And everybody, please be patient with the process. Everybody's learning still, and everybody sign up, come on over, right? I know last year we had to cancel. We're not going to cancel this year. There's unless something flipping happens, like something can happen. It's emergency management, right? So
I have no one around me to knock on.
I know. But no, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It's a great location. It's going to be fun. We have some cool stuff happening. They're going to do a movie night the first night. I will leave the movie a surprise, or if you guys have announced it, I don't remember if you did or not. But I do know that they're going to make it so it's emergency management friendly and a lot of comments and a lot of time just to blow off some steam. So if you need to blow off steam, especially after the storm here in California, it'd be a good time to come over and just kind of learn some more stuff that's going on within IAEM Region 9, and blow some steam and, do that kind of networking stuff. This is some of the things that we're trying to do around the region, is having these local events. I say local Region 9 event, and that we can, have fun with that, and so when people ask what we do, what does IAM do for us? Well, this will be one of those, and it's very affordable. It's we are making it as cheap as possible for people to come together. And then, we're also looking to do additional events, in your area if you guys want to have them. I talked this at IAM conference, and then we're also at the other day at the town hall that we had, which we'll talk about later. Now, what you want to do in your area, please reach out to us, and we'll see if we can fund it. This is part of doing this event, right? Is getting funding so we can do more regional, local events, and then also being able to fund some of the stuff that we're going to be doing for the 2023 conference in Long Beach. So it's our home conference. I want to have a big showing and do some really cool stuff for those that are in the region.
Additionally, so we're having our first in-person symposium in California, and like you were saying, hopefully we'll be able to jump around and have other symposiums in Nevada and Arizona and Hawaii and maybe American Samoa. It'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But we also have, we're very aware of the symposiums or the summits or the conferences that are happening already within our region. So we have the Nevada Preparedness Summit from NEPA. This year will be in University of Nevada, Reno. So it'll be in Reno. That's March 22nd to the 23rd. And their conference name is Invest in Yourself and Keep the Change. Very, very clever. And then we also have CISA for California for Reaching for the Summit in May 1st through the 4th in the Tahoe area.
That's a great name. When we were originally going to have it in Yosemite, I think that was sort of what CISA was going to name it when Jim and I were working on it. I'm glad they were able to use that name. That's cool.
Many good things coming down. And as you mentioned, we have the annual conference within our region. It's a very big deal, the fact that we're hosting. So we're gonna be loud and waving our Region 9 signs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. And one of the things that they're looking for specifically is if you live within the area, if you could volunteer to help out, and volunteers get to attend the event for free. So if you could
volunteer.
Yeah. So if you live in the area and if you can give some of your time, that would be great. One of the things as well that we're looking for as far as like IAM Region 9 goes, or IAM Region 9, as far as the IAM conference goes in Region 9, is, people will ask all the time, like, hey, can I go here, there, or wherever, trying to find places outside of just the event itself. And want to make sure that we're giving them, those of us that live in Southern California, specifically in the Long Beach area, if we can make sure we're sending people in good spots and not like on the wrong street. So Anaheim and Cherry is not the best place to go. You know what I'm saying?
Noted.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So the other news this year that we're transitioning, one in regards to the podcast, we'll be having 2 podcast episodes per month. And we also have this type of general informational, what's going on in the region at the first episode of every month. And then the second episode of every month is going to be around the regions, where we're inviting regional representatives from Region 1 to all the way to 10, and in which they can actually talk about the initiatives they're having and any other pieces of information in regards to their own region. So that'll be something to look forward to. Another thing is, did you want to speak on that?
Yeah, real quick, I'm excited about that. I thought that was such a great idea to have each of the presidents come in and talk about the region because again, even though we're IAEM Region 9, it's nice to know what's happening in the other spots. And I mean, like, and if you ask people like, hey, do you know where Region 3 is? Right? I don't know. I have to look at the map, right? Oh, it's a FEMA region. Okay, I have a pretty much idea. Who's but the crazy part is we have some regions that are really active and large like ours. We're the second largest region in the nation, which I'd really would like to be the first if we can kind of let's get out there and get some more membership. But who is the first? Well, we'll find out, right? Through this region talk portion of it. I think it's exciting. Taylor's coming on this month for Region 1, which is New Hampshire. All New England up there. Yeah, it's a little colder than we got over here in Southern California, even with the rain. I got a sweatshirt, and it's like, got to put a sweatshirt on. It's about as cold as it really gets down here, at least where I'm at. So we'll get to learn what their concerns are, what they're working on, and I think that's a great use of our assets here.
And then another thing to look forward to is we used to have a quarterly state of the region message where our president, yours truly, over there, would actually address the region and the conditions in which we find ourselves quarterly. But now we are transitioning to monthly town hall meetings. So go ahead and take it away, Mr. President.
Yeah, the monthly town hall meetings. That's what we're doing. I think the idea of having the town hall meetings is way better than just that quarterly me talking. I want to have something where we're able to communicate both ways. So we're doing it through Teams. So you should get a Teams invite. Our last one, obviously, we held during the peak of the storms, so it wasn't really superly well attended, but we did have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I want to highlight just a couple things on there, and again, just to kind of bring things out. Leslie Luke, who was the DEI advisor for the board, was replaced. He's been there for 8 years, and technically on committees, it's a 1-year assignment. So he's, been there for a long time. And he was replaced by a young lady, or I'll say young, but I guess she is Jerica. Sorry. And so Jerica has taken that role. And there's been some controversy due to it. And, Leslie and I had some long conversations regarding it, and a couple other people did as well. And when change is hard sometimes. And so because of this, I think this is a good thing. We ended up agreeing to, the board, ended up agreeing to spending significant time and resources on DEI, and we're going to be bringing in a DEI consultant. As a matter of fact, on the 17th, we'll be discussing that and who that is. I'm not part of the search committee to look for the DEI consultant, so I don't know who they are, but I have faith in the team that is looking at who should be the consultant that they'll choose wisely. But we'll get to meet them, or at least hear about them on the 17th. So that is moving forward. Everybody, please just kind of stay with us for a bit as we're going through this. Change is definitely hard. And I understand some of the issues, and I don't want to go too deep into them because a lot of it's personal for them, for the Leslie, for instance, and I'd rather have him tell his story than having it being heard from me on a podcast. So.
Alrighty, so the collective we in 2023, what can we look forward to coming down in 2023?
The collective we in 2023. Well, there's a few things that are happening. Now, number one is we're changing our bylaws specifically due with DEI issues, right? So the national USA bylaws were voted on changed and adopted at the conference in 2022, which means that our bylaws at the region will be changed to reflect the changes that happened on the USA bylaws. But we also have made official positions. So that is that the secretary / treasurer, we split to secretary treasurer. I appointed Jackie to be the secretary, but now when the new bylaws will make it an official position that is going to be elected, and so that election will occur not in 2023 but in 2024, and then in 2023 the election for IAEM Region 9 president will be president and the treasurer get elected in 2023. 2024 is the secretary and vice president. So that's the rotation. So that's kind of cool. So there'll be continuity of leadership in the positions. Troy just got elected in 2022, so his term will be over in 2024 if he chooses to run or not. And then mine would end this year. It's whether I decide to run for a second term or not. So that's how it goes. And so elections will happen in August. So if anybody's interested in running, kind of put that in the back of your mind. And if you guys want to run, I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So 2023.
And hopefully we'll be able to have another Meet the Candidates, because that was very informational the last time we did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice as a webinar.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have a new, let me see, our bylaws changes are occurring. We also have DEI. We are also looking into membership as one of our committees that are doing a lot more outreach. There are plenty of volunteer opportunities within the region. And I mean, if you also volunteer at the symposium at late February, that's going to be a kudos also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having that time, again at the symposium is going to be critical for all of us to look at the committees that we have. Where can you serve? And I've said this before, that what you put into IAEM Region 9 is what you're going to get out of it. So if you just want to be a member and pay your dues and get your CM or whatever you're doing with it, and just kind of, just watch this or look at the emails or whatever, that's great. If you want to learn more about what's going on in the region and get involved at IAEM USA as well with the caucuses, that's awesome. And what I've gotten out of IAEM, in my experience, the connections that I've made across the world when it comes to emergency management. I have friends in Germany. I have friends in Australia and New Zealand that are all part of this, how I met them through IAEM. Of course, all over the United States as well. And become great friends with Carol Seawack, friends with Sarah Miller up in Region 10, the former president up there, guys over in New York, Anthony, it's just been awesome to meet all these people and to become friends with them. You deal with them online, and when in person, and when you go to the conferences, you sit down and have dinner and talk, and it's just like being, like a great family reunion every time that you do it. And I believe it. And I think my personal opinion is that with emergency managers, we do a great job of connecting with each other anyway. And I think at the global level or IAEM Region or IAEM USA, IAEM Global, IAEM Region 9, what you put into is what you get out of it. So, yeah. Oh, you're muted, kiddo.
Every time. It'll be, it's 2023. You think we'd catch on. But this is having to unmute and mute. Yeah. It's a real thing. I'm actually looking forward to a lot of the changes that are coming up into the region, as well as at the national level, there has actually just been an announcement to the Advocacy and Awareness Caucus.
Oh yeah, there's some new caucuses coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some new ones. There are more.
I mean, they came out in 2022 or official. The Higher Education Caucus, which is different from higher education training, or training education. So let me talk about that one a little bit. So there's T&E, training education, which is really looking at the training, right? Like ICS training, IS training, trainings happening at FEMA, that type of stuff. Education side of that is still on that level, right? The Education Caucus is more for those that are emergency management educators, right? And to talk about what the trends are in education, right? Not in the training side. So it's not about the people who want to take training. It's about those that are actually teaching what the trends are, where programs are going, new programs that are coming in there, how to help programs stay afloat, right? We're seeing programs, we're seeing emergency management programs being shut down at different institutions, right? Low enrollment is the cause. Now, that being said, and education, there's low enrollment is going across the board. Hang on a second. Low enrollment is across the board, so it's not just emergency management education that has low enrollment. But because people don't know what emergency management is when they're in high school, no one's ever like, hey, yeah, and I'm going to USC, I want to get a degree in emergency management. They're like, yeah, I'm going to get a degree in communications. That seems to be like the go-to degree, right? What are you going to school for? I don't know. Communications. It used to be English literature, right? A long time ago. What do you go to school for? English lit. Now it seems to be everybody goes to school for communications or psychology. I guess psychology is useful.
Psychology was big.
Right. Yeah. So those are like the ones, or sociology, right? The soft sciences, unless you want to be like an engineer or something like that. So those are where kids kind of are guided towards. I think guidance counselors, when they're looking at kids scratching their head, trying to figure out what they're going to be, are like, sociology is a great degree, or, psychology is a great degree, or, English lit or whatever, communications. Everybody needs to know how to write, So those are the degrees that seems to be getting a lot of people sign up for them. So they're not going to go away. So it's like these other degrees like emergency management, which have, you're looking at maybe 40, 50 people enrolling a year, and which means like, ends up being with after people look at it and say that's not what they want to do, you're looking at like a graduation rate between those that first enroll to the end is probably something like around between 10 and 16. So it's a problem, right? As an administrator, I see why they're looking at programs and get rid of them. But as an industry, as emergency managers, we're looking at that as a problem with going, okay, how do we get people to enroll? And so, now you're seeing certificate programs, UCI, UCLA, for instance, other places. Those are just the ones that I know off the top of my head in Region 9. You have a great program over at Arizona, that's doing pretty well with a master's program. Long Beach has a master's program. But there's not a lot of bachelor programs out there, right? So I'm involved with the bachelor's program at the University of Research and Applied Development out of New Zealand called UARD. That's a unique program. Then you have, not a ton of bachelor programs within the region. I know UNLV has a master's program. If I forget one, please forgive me, that's out there. But those are the ones I know off the top of my head. So that's really what the Education Caucus is really looking at, those programs, how we can bolster those up and support them so we don't lose more programs and maybe even start some programs. So
it's all like looking intertwined, because even if with the new Advocacy and Awareness Caucus into the higher education, into what was actually revealed at the IAEM annual conference this last go around with the the standards. The standards of being a professional within emergency management. So it's I think we're definitely moving in a good direction, advocating for ourselves, advocating for more of awareness of the field and what it actually takes and what support we should be having moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we also see like our ethics committee, right? That's Carol and set that Carol set that up with the ethics committee and working through FEMA, but really defining what emergency management is, and we're doing more work on that for 2023. So that's already been approved and voted on, and it's going forward. And it's interesting is that somebody was reading it and said, "Oh, is there a way I could comment on this?" And the comments, it was already voted on, and the guy was really disappointed. He's like, "Well, I didn't know about this." It's like, well, this is one of those things that we're trying to do here with this platform, is to really inform you all what is going on out there, so you can voice your opinion. I know Isamar is doing a great job with her team and making sure that the newsletter is going out on a semi-regular basis. What I mean semi-regular is twice a month, right, Isamar? Yeah, so twice a month on a newsletter, and really celebrating that stuff as well. So if there's stuff going on that you really want to know, you can reach out to us, and our emails are open. Our phone lines are, well, my phone line's open pretty much, but it's sometimes hard to get a hold of me. So if you
connect on LinkedIn, collect on social media, however you want to voice your opinion and get your comments, we're totally open to it. We want to be as inclusive as possible. This is the members region. So.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think that's where we're doing the best job that we can do to get this information out to you. And again, if there's more information you need or want, or something that we're lacking in doing, please feel free to reach out. We're very open to that. Bylaws committee was created at the IAEM Region 9, at the IAEM USA at the Region 9 meeting. And the cool part about it is one of the persons who stepped up to be part of the bylaws committee was a brand new emergency manager to IAEM. And so I was like, that's awesome. That's what we're talking about there, is like bringing new people in and getting them involved. And that's been my mission realistically from when I got elected here as president for IAEM Region 9, is to really bring in young, new ideas and leaders. And Isamar is one of them, Jackie is one of them, and bringing them up into that leadership position. And I say all the time, I'm this old guy who's I maybe look younger than I really am. I'm this old guy who is at the end of his career, and I want to make sure that those that are at the beginning of their career have leadership opportunities, and this is what we're about. So if you want to get involved, this is a great opportunity for you to get involved. If you want to make a difference in emergency management, this is a place to do it. What I think is awesome is going with Isamar around the tables at the conference and introducing her to people, and people who know her, and people who are like, yep. And everybody, is like, yep, Isamar, she's going to make a difference in the world. And you know why she's doing this? Because she's out there, she's meeting people, she's shaking hands, and she's making contacts, and you too can do that.
There are many, many of us doing exactly that, and we see each other on LinkedIn and on different platforms, and it's the mutual acknowledgement. And then when we actually get to see each other at the annual conference, it just makes that connection just more like ironclad. We're good to go, and it just solidifies that we are one profession moving forward, and it's fantastic. We all support each other. So thank you so much, Todd. With that, we will go ahead and wrap up our official first episode of the year. Looking forward to 2023 as we move forward. So thank you to everyone who tuned in, and thank you to the man behind the screen.
Thanks, Brian.
Appearance?
He's shy.
Maybe not. Alrighty. But thank you, Brian. And thank you, Region 9. Keep on rocking and stay safe out there.
Stay safe.